Welcome, and thank you for joining me, the Old Grumpy Radio, Grumpy Prosperity Team, and the Prosperous Divas for this special presentation of Grow Your Mind and Money. We are interviewing David Flores, a successful business owner, public speaker, entrepreneur, and I hear he's a great dad. David has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower himself and others in pursuing their dreams. David's willingness to authentically speak from his heart and stand so that others can stand has him to be a champion for humanity. Now, Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. She cannot be here with us tonight for this episode. However, she has been kind enough to send us a special selection. Let's hear. Listen.
Hey, I'm Shani the Poet, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. And as usual, I have something special for you. One hell of a woman. I need all of my real women to stand up and be recognized. She is, you are, and I am and will always be one hell of a woman. For all the tears that I've had to cry, for all the pain that I've had to endure, my smile still shines through. I'm able to give you what you need to be you. I am the strength you crave and the wisdom you wish to absorb. One hell of a woman. I can keep your secrets and tell when you lie, release you from your pain or make you cry. I have the ability to step out on faith and still say what's on my mind. I found peace last night when I cried. So yes, I'm still on my grind because I am one hell of a woman. You still can't comprehend the way I've had your back. I've worn many different hats. And although you may not recognize all that I am and all that I am becoming, it will not stop me from sharing what makes me me. See, God broke the mold when he created Shani. There wasn't one like me before, and I promise you when I'm gone, there'll be no more. And I'm certainly not concerned about the whispers and the gossip. Yep, I'm on top of it. I am one hell of a woman. I am one of the chosen few, so you might want to think before you attempt to mistreat me. And no, I'm not holier than thou, but the universe does have my back, and I ain't got no problem with saying that out loud. Because of him, I am one hell of a woman. I am planting roots. I'm speaking the truth. I'm able to love you and still have more than enough to love me too. I have the ability to create and sustain life and give love, and I will fight when I know that I'm right. I'm balanced. I got a hell of a woman's insight. I am a crowd favorite on some days and a bitch on a day-to-day. For those of you who doesn't understand what that means, I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'm talented, charming, hell of a woman, simply said. And even if you don't think so, I know my role. Can make you laugh, can help you focus, sometimes make you nervous when you rub me the wrong way, and yet still a hell of a woman every day. So you can do your worst, and I'll do my best, moving forward to reflect, leaving you to reflect on the fact that I am and will always be one hell of a woman. Shani. I hope you enjoyed One Hell of a Woman.
Did we lose Diva Nikki?
You did not lose
Snap,
Diva
snap,
Nikki.
and a toe
Snap,
tap.
snap, and toe tap. Snap, snap, and a toe tap. Oh, my goodness. Welcome back. Before we continue, it's time to see what Prosperous thought our Diva Robin has for us today. Robin?
Thank you, Diva Nikki. Good can come from it. What if the problem is not really a problem? What if that's just the way you've chosen to see it? What if the difficulty might eventually turn out to be helpful? What if the disappointment could soon lead to a valuable gain? Step back from your assumptions. Imagine differently, optimistically, with confidence, and a positive perspective. See your situation as it is. Then envision a whole set of favorable possibilities flowing out of it. You have an opportunity here. The future has not happened, and what you do right now will have an impact on how your future plays out. Acknowledge reality while also seeing the good things that can come from it. Now get to work making those good things happen. What I am present to about myself and growing my mind when it comes to the theme good can come from it is all the times where good has indeed flowed from experiences that I thought of as breakdowns. In particular, I'm reminded of a time, it was a long time, I was married to a man who was very mean to me and I was afraid to leave, partly because I'm an artist and I was afraid to give up the financial security. I took a stand for myself and for my own financial success, probably for the first time ever. I got out of that situation, and what came out of it was my being very financially successful in a temporary career as an executive recruiter. So I always know I can make it. And now my wonderful marriage to my kind and generous husband. The truth is, I found that every single time, good, in fact, a much better future has come from difficulty. And now it's time for our special interview with David Flores. Ronnie B., please take it away.
Good can come from it. You know, sometimes you look into the abyss and all you see is darkness. You see the tunnel. And the question is not that there's a light at the tunnel. Who will you be when there's no light? There's no light at that tunnel. You're looking and you see no light. And whoever you be with no light is what it's going to take for you to get to be with the light. So good can come from it. Wow.
Well
And this part, thank you. In this part of the interview, we learn about a challenge David faced in having his dreams fulfilled, a challenge that knocked the wind out of his sails. Somehow, some way, he kept going and turned that challenge from seeming defeat to victory. Now, we know that because David is still here on the planet with us. So he had to have got, we always know the person got victory because they're like actually here.
Didn't kill him, huh?
Well, hey, we do use a little logic. Thank you, David, for being on the show tonight.
Appreciate you having me.
Oh, we welcome you. Well, we're going to get right with it, okay? David, please share an incident or a time in your life that knocked the wind out of your sails when the going got even rougher and you felt like you were lost. Now, please be as specific as possible so we can truly appreciate what you were experiencing.
Yeah, so probably it was easily about 20 to 21 years ago. That was a real rough spot in my life, but there's one particular incident that sticks out in my mind. I'll never forget it. It was February the 4th of 1998. And, you know, I mean, in one sense, it's unforgettable because of what happened, but it was also my brother's birthday, you know, so it was kind of like, there's no way I'm going to forget it. But, I was starting to really, I had a daughter. I was, separated from her mom and, just found myself making getting out of a rough relationship that, you know, where, I guess to speak about it conceptually, where, you know, we brought the worst out in each other or something like that, you know.
Oh.
It was the best. Yeah, like that. So it was best for us to be apart, but then it was even worse. It got compounded because about 3:00, 3:30 in the afternoon on that day, I had, finished looking at an apartment over there near Highway 290 over there near Antoine and DeSoto. And I was crossing the street, the light turned green, and there was a fella that ran the red light in a Nova and just hit me, T-boned me on my side, on the driver's side. And, I'll never forget it. I mean, it was like I lost everything. I mean, the truck that I was driving was totaled. He broke my pelvis in 2 places. I broke a bunch of ribs. I think I was lucky not to be dead, actually. When I saw pictures of the vehicle later, they had an indentation in it, probably about, 1.5 to 2 feet in, I got taken to Herman Hospital on a gurney. They thought I probably had a spinal injury. So it was awful. I went from, looking at getting an apartment for myself and, really starting to kind of come into my own to, losing everything in an instant. And on top of that, it was, the fellow, he didn't have any insurance, right? So, I mean, there was like, from a legal standpoint, there was no deep pocket to go after, to get any kind of compensation, right? So there was none of that. I mean, literally, it was like the cosmos pressed the reset button on my life. It was like, you got to go back to zero. It was the worst.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you could imagine also riding in an ambulance the guy that hit me, I'll never forget his name. His name was James Thompson. I've never seen his face. I've never seen, all I heard was a voice. I remember the police officer saying to him, he says, and apparently he was fleeing from the police at the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was. It was like I was like literally crossing this intersection and this dude was fleeing from the police. So the cops saw everything. Yeah. And he had him, he put him in the back of the ambulance and we were going to the hospital and I never saw his face. All I heard was a voice, and it was just it was eerie, almost surreal to have your life as you know it taken away from you by only a voice, no face to it, just someone named James Thompson.
And I can get that name was burnt into your memory.
The whole thing, man. And what was really awful about it was, I was in Memorial for 2 or 3 days, and they were shooting me up full of morphine pretty good, and they patched me up as well as they could, and then I had to go convalesce. I had to go recuperate at my mom's, a couple hours north of Houston, up in Lufkin, and that was. I mean, if you could imagine being on painkillers and hardly being able to roll over in bed because your pelvis is broken. And if you had to go to the bathroom, if you had to pee, you had to turn on your side, and I could feel my pelvis flex from time to time, and I'd want to cry out in pain. And then if you had to go, like you really had to go, it was hard enough just to pull up your own pants. So it was to say that the wind was knocked out of my sails.
Oh my God!
I mean, literally, I just felt so helpless. And on top of that, a little bit of, or actually, a great deal about my life. But Carly was probably about 1.5 years, 2 years old at the time, and I couldn't make my child support payments, and I mean, it was just awful. I lost everything. And, there I was up at my mom's house in Lufkin, Texas, confronting what am I going to do with my life? Because I had contacts up there. I mean, I literally could just go, okay, I mean, I could stay there, but I knew I was going to probably be one of the angriest people on the planet if I stayed there.
Oh my God. So, yeah, speaking about that, so, wow, that is just, but, during that, we're dealing with all of that, did you find yourself playing the blame game?
And you know what? Not a lot.
Not a lot? Okay.
I mean, very, I don't know. I mean, I never saw that guy's face, I mean, I suppose I could have stuck around. I mean, like, I knew there was nobody to sue. There was no way for me to get my vehicle back. I mean, like,
so you just kind of had an acceptance. Oh, God.
I mean, what I really had to confront, Ronnie, more than anything was how much I loved my daughter and how much I was unwilling to stay up in Lufkin in what would arguably be some kind of, dead end job or future or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I could have stayed up there. I could have, worked for people I'd worked before and, not made a lot of money and scraped by and, but I knew that would have been given up. Yeah.
So what kind of, because we know that you got past it. What happened that things finally started getting back on track? And what did what did you start doing?
Well, I think more than anything, it wasn't so much. I mean, on the one hand, speaking to you now and going, wow, did I spend a lot of time blaming people or feeling? Actually, I think probably one of the aspects of this interview that I didn't expect was inside of this question. I'm really discovering I really didn't engage with that a lot. I mean, not to say that I never had. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm just as human as anybody else, and I think there was just something I had my eye on at that time in my life where I just got focused. It was because I was working on the Port of Houston, and in between Christmas and New Year's, I had submitted an application to develop myself inside of the Introduction Leaders program, with Landmark Worldwide, and so literally I was just waiting for the program to start. I was in the process of getting my life turned around and creating a real context, creating a real context for that. And, more than anything, this whole thing was just an incredible gut punch, like the circumstance of it was just awful. And, and I know, Benjamin, my uncle, and he introduced me to transformation and I remember talking to him, and I told him, he's like, well, what are you going to do? And I mean, I was up in Lufkin, and he was down in Houston. I was talking to him. And I said, well, I mean, I'm in this program. I said, Benjamin, I mean, I don't recall saying this to him, but I knew for myself that this was bottom. This was rock bottom. Like, literally, my life could get no worse. I mean, what else are you going to do to a man? My pelvis was broken. I walked funny. My ribs, I was bruised for like 2.5 months. I could hardly work. I lost my vehicle. The guy didn't have insurance. I wasn't working. I mean, I was at my mom's house. I had to roll over on my side to pee in a jug. I mean, it was like, I couldn't make my child support payments. I hadn't seen my dog. I mean, it was awful. It was just the worst. And it was clear to me, I guess at some level, it couldn't get any worse.
It couldn't get it. You said it couldn't get any. Well, I'll put it like this. Fortunately, even though you and I'll say your daughter's mom kind of brought out the worst in you, that it was not a Lorena Bobbitt incident.
Well, yeah.
Things could have got worse. Things could have got worse.
Yeah.
But one thing I just want to, because I'm just present to this, and what I'm present to is that Diva Nikki has a recording called Circumstance and Chance. And, you may have heard that, the Ecclesians, circumstance and chance happens to everyone. And here it is, like you said, you already knew that you were going to have to, transform your life for where you wanted to go and for how you wanted to show up. And life said, oh, so you're really committed to, you know, like you want to transform this and have everything go. Well, guess what? You might as well start at ground zero. Oh, God.
Yeah. Well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And I remember, you know, having a conversation with, you know, Benjamin. I said, you know, I said, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this program. He's like, really? I was like, you got any better ideas? I mean, I was like, look, it's either me. I could see the future. I could see it's like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to live up here in Lufkin and live with my mom? What, I'm going to go back to work, you know, for some of the companies I knew here for, you know, some chinchy, you know, amount per hour and work 60, 70 hours a week and, you know, and eventually move out of my mom's and get some crappy little apartment and then, you know, and then, be content with whatever lousy custody agreement I had at the time to see my daughter. I was like, nah, no. I mean, you know, I could see it. Somebody was going to end up in prison at the end of all that. So I was like, no.
Oh, God. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the thing about it was, what was really, I still remember, man. I think my mom, I don't even think I paid for it. My mom bought me a bus ticket to Houston. I literally got on a Greyhound in Lufkin, frickin' Texas, man. And came to Houston, and Benjamin, I mean, you know him. He's a incredible guy. I mean, he could sell ice to Eskimos, and he had two graduates that lived together. I'll never forget them. Their names were Jennifer and Melissa. And they had a home over in the Heights. And, you know, Jennifer was never there because she was engaged to a fella. And so she was there. And, you know, Melissa, I can't remember which, I think she worked in the financial district or industry or something like that. And they were like, hey, look, you know, you can crash at our house for a couple of months until you get back on your feet. And I mean, it was just the most amazing thing that, you know, two, you know, professional ladies that just really just inside of their own, listening and relationship with Benjamin said, Jesus, yeah, I told you if you can come and, you know, stay with us and, you know, get back on his feet. So, I mean, here's the thing. It was really, this really took place inside of a context of contribution and humility and you know, confronting at a very profound level where I'd been an asshole in life and had never owned it.
Gee, not that happens to anyone else.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man.
Wow, that was well, David. Because, like I said, we do know that you made it through all of that because you're actually here. And but part of what I see is that one, you were open. You know, you were open for a difference being made. And often we're so stubborn that we have to do it our way, or it has to look a certain way that will have our ego, I'll say, untouched.
Right.
And for you, because one of the key words you said was humility. And people often mistake humility for like putting themselves second or putting themselves down. Humility is a strength of knowing who you are. So whatever happens in the situation, you're you. So that was just really, really awesome. And I think I know Melissa and Jessica. But wow. Well, David, anything else?
Is there anything else? I mean, what's there to say about that? I think the thing that I would have to stress is, I mean, I appreciate everything that you said about humility. I think I don't think that there was ever a time in my life where I had to. I mean, if you take a look at human beings, fundamentally, some of the more difficult experiences or emotions that are intolerable for most human beings, shame, embarrassment, humiliation, like that, those things. I really had to confront those experiences head on. There was no way that I was actually advancing in my life without being with those experiences of humiliation, of shame, embarrassment. And I cannot stress enough how critical that is in the development of and the bringing forth of who you are. That's kind of indestructible. Because when you can encounter life and not be stopped by those experiences, and most human beings are, they will turn a 180 and go in the opposite direction. You will not advance. It is, those experiences of shame, guilt, humiliation, embarrassment, like that. There is something like that for every human being, but it was like, if you cannot be with those and allow them to be there and still take action and at the same time be in communication with the people in your life that that love you and support you, and at the same time be in communication with the people in your life who you've wronged or transgressed. You have something incomplete and something to clean up with them. You're not. It's the do not pass go, do not collect $200. You're not advancing. You're going to go backwards. So those are critical moments where certain kind of indestructibility that any human being possesses gets forged.
There's a term for that, moments of truth. Now, David,
right?
You put those moments of truth. And, one thing about a moment of truth is that failure today does not mean failure tomorrow. That's why it's a moment of truth for you to wake up. Now, David, thinking about our theme, good can come from it, and I really love how Diva Robin delivered that. What are you present to that you can share with our listeners? Good can come from it, especially given your situation, in the past.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding? I mean, good can come from it. I mean, there's times I've thought about, newspapers are kind of dead anymore, there was times I thought about, I wonder if that guy James Thompson, if he knows, the impact that he had on my life. But the other side, because I remember staring at that fluorescent light in that ambulance being strapped to a gurney, and it is uncomfortable how tight they strap you to a gurney when they think you're going to fall. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, you might be paralyzed. You might be in a wheelchair. And I stopped and I thought, okay, well, it's never what happens. It's what you make up about it. And I remember just staring at that light on my way to the hospital in just that horrible state of pain that I was in, thinking about my daughter. And I remember declaring, it's time for you to become unstoppable now.
Declarations.
Yeah. So yeah, if there's good, right? So yeah, I actually remember that as just as vividly as anything, you know. I mean, like I see that moment as clearly as my daughter's face, as my wife's freckles, as you know, it's just there for me so vividly. I remember saying to myself, "You have to become unstoppable now."
Wow. Well, David, I want to thank you for sharing. And one thing in your sharing, you demonstrated acknowledging the occurring world that you were in during that experience, because your occurring world was not good. And out of that, you made a declaration that forever altered the occurring world of your future. So I just wanted to acknowledge it that way. But we have some divas, and you know what divas like to do? They like to share what's present for them from the interview. So let's start out with Countess Jacqueline. Countess Jacqueline, what is present for you from the interview?
A lot. Thank you so much for sharing that, David. And the way he broke down the whole story, it just really got us involved. And wow, that's just an amazing experience. It's almost like facing, to me what I got was you like face your worst fear. Like the worst fear came true, and after that, it was like, well, I'm not scared of anything. What is there to be scared of now? I've almost literally faced death. Wow. And, you know, and also it's still a mindset that you chose to take that pain and instead of letting it cripple you, use it to fuel you into power. Just presence of those wonderful things. Great share, David. Thank you.
All right. Okay. My favorite princess warrior, Diva Jan.
Here.
You are my favorite princess warrior. What's present for you from the interview, ma'am?
Oh, my goodness. So many things I can identify with what David shared. And number one is you got to own it. You need to assess where you fit in the narrative, because there's always a story being written in life. Either you're creating the narrative or you're following somebody else's narrative. But you need to find out where do you fit in and what are your tools that have been given to you to make positive strategy happen. And one thing that was really prevalent for me is I got to live. I don't care what he said. He determined I got something to offer, and I got to figure out how to live. Not just survive, but live. So I'm going to thrive. There's something beyond all of this craziness. And I'm not going to put a spiritual application on it in terms of, I shouldn't say spiritual, religious application. I'm not going to gloss over it, but I know there's something divine assigned to my life. That's what I heard from him. And it resonates very deeply with me, because sometimes there aren't any words. They're just, you have no words. But there's that innate knowing you have to keep going. There's that innate knowing that you're not by yourself, and there's that innate knowing that you have power to do this. That's what was present for me.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Janice.
You're very welcome.
All right. Diva Robin, what's present for you? Diva Robin.
I'm sorry, I started talking before I unmuted.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not sorry, but you were muted.
Should I just pick up in the middle? No.
So what's present for you from the interview?
So first of all, thank you, David. I am present to being inspired by what you shared, and at the same time having some emotional and physical reactions from the reminder about my own low spots, and I really do relate to rallying moment, when he said, okay, now I become unstoppable. And I remember similar moments for me along the way. And the big thing, I think, really is that I'm reminded of the saying that God never gives us more than we can handle.
Mm.
And that has gotten me through quite a few situations.
Mm.
Also, by the way, David, I know your Uncle Benjamin, and it sounds right in character that he asked you what you would do when you were at your mother's house. Just, yeah, anyway, so thank you for sharing it. It was a really tough situation shared in a powerful way, so thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, and let's see. I think we have. Oh, I see her waving her hand frantically. Empress of Faith.
Ronnie, you know I love you so much. First of all, David, I really want to acknowledge you for being present and in the conversation and so honest, authentic, and transparent with your sharing. I can repeat the things that the ladies have already spoken. There is no need for that because their words in itself spoke volumes. And I thank you for just allowing me to have an additional glimpse into what occurred for you, your what happened, your what is, and being touch moved and inspired communication and being cause in a matter and not giving up and being present to the fact that you are not done yet. And through your experiences, you have taken control and charge and being someone extraordinary and really making an impact on the world and really making an impact on individuals in their lives and using your experience as a testimony and just being willing to give hope to so many other individuals that have had car accidents, whether they were severe and life-threatening, whether they were, just a bump, but in itself the experience being what it was for so many different individual people, we can never pinpoint those exact things because it's so individual. And just having that faith and that hope to continue on and just being present and still being here. So I acknowledge you and I thank you so very much for taking this opportunity to touch us, to move us, and inspire us through your communication and your authentic sharing this evening.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And we haven't forgot about her.
They're not.
Okay, Diva Nikki, what is present for you?
A few things are present for me. Something I often say that you exemplified in your sharing is that life happens. And when life happens, we have a choice of what we're going to do from the point that life happens, right? And you chose to not just live, but you chose to thrive. And you also chose humility. You chose ownership before the humility. It took humility to choose ownership of, you know what, I was an asshole before. I've been an asshole. I don't know about this person. I have been an asshole. I may not want to, this right here might be a good time to rectify my asshole.
Yep.
Pastor Sharman.
And that's paramount. That's paramount. Because when life happens to us in such a manner like what it did with you, you could have did the blame game. You could have had pity parties. You could have just said, well, from whoever I am from this point forward and not even acknowledging who you're working for. And it's just been the same. Like, it's just, you know, it is what it is, whatever. You became a bigger person. But in you becoming a bigger person, it was not that you were becoming somebody that you were not. You were becoming someone. You were becoming someone that you already were. You were coming into it. And it took that to bring that out of you. And now we have what you have here, being a champion for humanity. Thank you.
Oh, I got it. Thank you.
All right. Well, look, we will hear more from David later in the show, because David actually has a business that he created over the years, and he's created something new and unique for the industry that he's involved in. And so there used to be a commercial that came out when I was a few years younger, and in the commercial, it was actually for cigarettes, bad cigarettes, Virginia Slims. And their theme was, you done came a long way, baby.
I remember those.
I remember that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Well, all right. Well, Miss Cookie, again, Miss Cookie is at an event for the African Methodist Episcopal Church peoples, doing her good thing there. But she left a prosperous spirit with Diva Robin. Take it away.
Thank you, Ronnie B. It's an honor to fill in for Miss Cookie. Abundance. A consciousness of spirit is the true source of my good. I live in an abundant universe that is teeming with all manner of good. Yet the ultimate source of my good is never a particular job, bank account, or person. They are simply channels through which my prosperity might flow. When I focus on the channels rather than the source, I narrow my capacity to receive the flow of life's plentiful, diverse expressions. Instead, I look to spirit as the one true source of my good and recognize that I have an endless inner supply. A consciousness of spirit is my constant supply. Centered in spirit, I feel no lack. I am continually inspired by the flow of prospering ideas. As I act on them, I enjoy the richness of Spirit's universal storehouse. Diva Nikki, please take it away.
Thank you. You all stay tuned for the kitchen with Miss Cookie and the corner with Countess Jacqueline, featuring music from Be Blessed. Welcome back. Now you know, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And we do it all with love. What's that? Something smells great. I think we have a dish. Miss Cookie has to whip it up in the kitchen. What we got in the kitchen?
Well, I'm not Miss Cookie, but she did pass along the recipe, and I tried it, and it is amazing. So welcome to the kitchen. We have a great recipe to feed those hearty appetites that have been working diligently on growing their minds and money. And you know how growing your mind and money can make you very hungry. So it's time for the recipe. And hang on just one second. You ready? This is Miss Cookie's Healthy Crock-Pot Chicken Stew. Here are the ingredients. 2 organic or free-roaming chicken breasts, about 2 to 3 pounds total. Olive oil. 1 large red onion chopped. 6 garlic cloves minced. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme leaves, or 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. I used fresh. 1/3 cup of organic flour, always organic when you can get it. 1/2 cup of wine. 4 cups organic chicken stock. 3 to 4 medium red potatoes, scrubbed and chopped into 1/2 inch pieces. 4 carrots, peeled and chopped. 2 bay leaves. 1 cup of fresh peas, and 1/4 cup of parsley, chopped. Doesn't that sound amazing? Well, I'll tell you it is. So you start out by heating the olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat. Into that, you add the onion, the garlic, the tomato paste, and the thyme until they have all softened. Once they've softened, you add the flour and cook for just 1 minute. At that point, you're going to add the wine and cook it for just another minute. So now you have this beautiful kind of almost like a roux. Then you add a cup of chicken broth and stir until blended well. Add the onion mixture to the crock pot along with the remaining 3 cups of broth, the potatoes, the carrots, the bay leaves, and the chicken. Cook on high for 4 hours in the crock pot or on low for 6 to 8 hours, whichever you prefer. Shred the chicken and add the peas and parsley at the end for the last 10 minutes to heat it through. Serve it with Miss Cookie's honey butter rolls and an herb salad. I think I'll take a break and go eat some.
Right?
Oh, what a great recipe. So now, while I try the stew, I'm going to send you back over to the corner with Countess Jacqueline. Let's give her a smooch and a rose for Miss Cookie's fabulous recipe. Smoochy, smoochy, rose, rose, rose.
Receiving. Thank you so much.
All right.
So welcome to the corner. We are featuring music from Be Blessed out of Queens with his album King of Hearts. We asked the team to vote whether the track should get a smooch and a rose or if it needs more fertilizer. Let's hear the first track, which is titled
Be Blessed. It started with a small encounter. I made a move and then you countered. I don't know you, but I can't live without you. Cause real talk, there's just something about you. Feeling crazy energy is all about the vibe. Loving the silhouette from the profile of your sign. I can pull up to your bumper, are you a smooth ride? Is there somewhere we can park? If not, then we can slide. Strong body language, she pierced me with her eyes. Dancing on me with my hands on her thighs. I'm under a spell, as soon as I'm hypnotized. Told her that I want her, she turned and replied.
This isn't love. Sure, I touch you like sword. I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Don't mind crushing like sword tonight. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time.
And now we moving 9 feet. We the best looking couple and nobody can compete. Since we in tune, our hearts pounding to the beat. And the dress that she wearing complimenting her physique. CK, rose, whatever that she sipping. It's on me, of course, we feeling like we clicking. Got the magic stick, but I'm the one who tricky. She the baddest chick and I got her in position. Major key alert and I'm trying to lock it down. She's a major flirt and she's sexy in that gown. She's the queen bee and she's sipping on that crown. Shorty said she was a Libra, the baddest pop a pound. But I can't hide my feelings, she's the one that I'm seeking. Just can't explain it, but to me she's intriguing. Shorty got me open on the first time meeting. Then she put me close to the words she was speaking.
I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Sure, I touch you like sword. I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Don't mind crushing like sword tonight. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time.
Last round of alcohol. People hooking up in the bathroom stalls. She say that I'm a cat, she not playing hardball. She feeling the connection, there number she could call. She asked for my math, so I knew that we are equal. Got it in the bag, cause I spit getting lethal. Tonight was a movie, looking forward to the sequel. Putting on a show when it's only just a preview. Cut from a different cloth, I'm checking out a thread. Shorty got the cake, but it's me with the bread. Killer have fun, but found love instead. It's a race against the clock, we both coming out ahead. Then they're checking that stock of me and her or my item. Good things come to those who wanna find them. My body's out of sight, let's believe she will blind them. Your boy still got it and I kindly remind them. I'm so glad that I found you. I just wanna be around you. And I don't want us to end, I wanna see you again. I'm looking forward to round 2. Liquor got me impaired. In this very moment that we share, she's the only one that I can see clear. And then she put me close and she whispered in my ear.
We're in love, but this isn't love. Sure, I touch you like sword. I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Don't mind crushing like sword tonight. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time. This isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time. I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Sure, I touch you like sword. I think we're in love, but this isn't love. Don't mind crushing like sword tonight. If this isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time. This isn't love, funny how some bad things can make a good time.
All right. That was Good Times. So, is crack getting a smooch and a rose or free fertilizer? Panel, let me start with the Empress of Faith, Nakia. Is
I was really
hoping you holding?
I was really hoping you weren't going to start with me first. Oh my God. I am like clueless as to what was going on in that song. So, it was, I don't know if it was just too loud in my ear or if I just didn't get part of it or something. I got lost in translation. And I apologize. So I'm going to have to give it a touch of fertilizer. I heard some stuff. Yeah, because I don't know.
It's okay, a little bit of fertilizer ain't never hurt nobody.
That's just nurturing it, okay?
All right, Diva Janice, smooch and a rose or fertilizer?
Oh, most certainly they need a lot more development. Some really wonderful, loving fertilizer needs to be on this tune.
Some loving fertilizer.
They're in the same tonality, and I understand that she brought the rapper in to bring that genre in, but he doesn't do justice because of the tonality. There's no authoritative voice there that differentiates his message from hers because they're kind of melodically the same. So most certainly they need some loving development there.
All right, I'll take it. Miss Cookie is not here, but we already know what she would say as a truck. David, smooches and a hug or some PMOS?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, I know I'm maybe a little cowardly of me to straddle both, but I actually found myself just having to. Look, here's the thing. Who I am about music is that rock and roll died when David Lee Roth left Van Halen. Okay, so I've kind of stopped listening back around 1986 or something like that. But I actually just found myself suspending any opinions that I might have about what it is I think I like or know that I like, and I really appreciated the way that they harmonized and And I think it was Janice that mentioned something about the rappers. He really didn't stand out such in stark contrast to her messages. I thought it was a brilliant observation. But when I listened to it, I thought, I could actually really hear that being in the background of like somebody's date being played softly or something like that. So I was like, this isn't that bad. And so I mean, they definitely. I'm going to have to throw my hat in the ring with some love and fertilizer, some peat moss. They need a little more to go, but not bad at all. Yeah.
I did that. That's kind of hot too. Well, Robin.
Hello. I'm usually really smoochy, but I actually I think I would fertilize this one also. I found that the whole thing was it's kind of like Diva Janice said. There was too much going on, and everything was kind of at equal level, so nothing stood out any of the time. So I found it just busy, like too much going on of the same kind of, too much going on. And also I found the instrumental part really repetitious. And sometimes there's stuff that's really repetitious and it works, and in this case, it wasn't interesting enough. The background wasn't interesting enough to me to make the repetition fun. It was just kind of not great. So, but I can see there's talent there, and I can see potential, and it's certainly worth fertilizing. So, no smooches.
No smooches from you, but fertilizer is always good. So, coming from a loving place, I can tell. Diva Nikki, what is the verdict?
Well, I actually bought a rose, and I haven't kissed what. I was feeling the vibe of it, and I can actually hear it playing like in a cafe or something, and like David said, in the background, like someone's there or something, kind of low key. So I'll give it a smooch and a rose. Now, a little extra fertilizer never hurt nobody. I have never heard of the being just too much fertilizer. Then again, I don't have a green thumb either. So, so we're going to go with a smooch and a rose, and we'll take out a little fertilizer.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ride with Nikki and David and ride the fence. I am going to give them a smooch and a rose because to me it did sound like something I heard when I was in Vegas the last time, somewhere in the background. So it sounds like it could fit in with what's going on right now, but come on, I was bored. You guys got to be more original. Stop trying to copy what's already been done. Get some fertilizer for some originality, but you should smooch and rose as well. Let's go to the next track.
I don't want to be in love, love. I don't want to be in love, love.
Hello again, my former old friend. Reflecting on the past, I don't know where to begin. Left me down and out, and he also did me in. You're the very air I breathe, but you made me lose my wind. So every time I see you, there's no need to pretend. We always starting out great, but then we meet in the end. Thought you was someone on who I could depend. Always follow the rules, not knowing that they could bend. But then again, got me tossing and tussling. Thought I met my match, but I end up with wrestling and pin, thinking how you got under my skin. Riding a love boat, wonder if we sink or swim. What matters of the heart, it's got me feeling like 10. Man, it's just a cycle that's making my head spin. This is a place that ain't made for me. If love is the address, then nah, I don't wanna be.
I don't wanna be in love,
no way. No, hey.
I don't wanna be in love,
no way.
hey. I don't wanna be in love,
No,
I don't wanna be in love,
no way. Hey, let's take a look. Same book, different chapter. Wonder if the ending is happily ever after. We was was rooting for you, you could hear them from the rafters. Now when I reflect, you left me broken and shattered. Had you down to a science, but it really didn't matter. Took a swing at it, became beaten and battered. Conversation was great, now all I'm hearing is chatter. Wanted to be the first, but you always made me latter. So once again, light of my life is now dim. Trying to build a life like we playing a game of Sims. But we was playing Jenga with a bunch of shaky limbs. Thought we could hide our flaws without shaky foundation. We all have our limits and we push it to the brim. I tried shooting my shot, but wound up hitting the rim. This is a place that ain't made for me. Is love us the address? Then nah, I don't wanna be in love no more. No pain. I don't wanna be in love. No pain. I don't wanna be in love. Nope. I don't wanna be in love. No pain. Now you hit me with talk saying you miss me. To put it simply, you left me broken and sickly. You try to twist me with a bull, you can miss me. Try to convince me, get my heart turning to miss me. Used to set me ablaze, it was just the latest craze. But now I'm just evolving, I see it was just a phase. This is a place that ain't made for me. If love is the address, then nah, I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be in love. No way. I don't wanna be in love. No way.
Check in with my panel. Let's start with Diva Nikki this time.
Give me a second. I'm trying to see. I'm on this website. I'm trying to see how would the charges be to get a truckload of delivered of fertilizer. I'm on your website, David, trying to see. I'm over it this one. It sounds like the last one now. I'm on David's website trying to see how much is a truckload of fertilizer delivery. Cesium.net. Trying to see about that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need some more fertilizer. It's like the last track, and I'm over it.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure I know what Miss Cookie would say. Yeah. She probably got something on the order for the truck, Nikki. So. David, you got a rock for her?
Well, so far we've got a unanimous decision going so far here. I appreciate that she opened the commentary when I was looking on a website for how much a truckload of fertilizer would cost because. I was listening to it. I was like, I'm just not digging this song, but we got a ways to go.
Diva Janice.
Okay, I have to stand in for Miss Cookie tonight. I wouldn't even waste the order on this one. No, seriously. It's more of the same, and it's just really sad when people don't understand you need different producers for a reason because they bring out a different aspect of your talent. They extract that from you, and they help you grow and expand. So what this particular track does to me as a musician and as a media executive, they didn't invest in their talent. I wouldn't even waste the time on an order. I'm just done, absolutely done.
Oh, God.
That's right.
Beep, 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 beep.
That's cold.
Beep, beep,
That's
beep,
cold.
beep.
That is cold fertilizer.
No, listen. I'm gonna use the fertilizer for some spring bed of something. We're gonna grow something for the spring, but not on this one. It really is. It is so sad. It is sad. It is sad that they paid money to go and record this track, who mixed it down, who was the engineer, or who was the producer, but somebody didn't tell them the truth. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody told them the truth. So I find it very sad.
Well, you did. You did.
Well.
Right? Yes. You definitely shared the truth.
Diva Ramen.
Oh, gosh.
Well, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I liked that one better than the one before. And I think I thought that the background music, I think part of it really is the production, just like Diva Jan. I'm with her today. I think a lot of it has to do with the production. But I liked the beat better. I found the instrumental part was more interesting than the one before it. And yet I can't really give it a full smooch, but I'll give it a wink. And say, keep
you get a wink.
I've been bending my own. A little wink and definitely and a wink and some fertilizer and I would say don't give up, but do listen to what Diva Janice just said about investing in a better arrangement and better production.
Thank you.
Seen that.
And let's check in with the Empress of Faith, Nakia.
Okay, so I could kind of start with this one. Nevertheless, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I'm going to go ahead and just contribute to that fertilizing truck. Go back it up, back it up, back it up.
Beep.
Back it on up. All right, so you have my vote.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really tried to fight this time. Yeah. The chorus was okay, but not enough for a smooch for me. Sorry, so I'm going to give you fertilizer on this one as well. But if you guys who are listening, if you like what you heard from Be Blessed, check him out at BeBlessedMusic.com. Diva Nikki.
Okay.
All right.
Up next.
I like that new name. I think that's kind of pretty.
We're not going to go with it. It's not, no. That's fertilizer. That's not a smooth in the road. We're not going to go.
We're not.
We're not. We're not here for it.
Right.
Up next, we have Shawnee's Sunshine Lounge. Hosted today by the Empress of Faith. Interviews David Flores, plus voices from Ethers. Please stay tuned. Are you ready? Because we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And we do it all with love. Now look here, Shawnee left the keys to the lounge with Countess Jacqueline tonight. So let's see what she has for us. Countess Jacqueline.
Woo, woo, woo. I'm here. Welcome to Shawnee's Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind and maybe have you tap your feet. Tonight, we have an awesome poet, Kamiko Farah, performing
Miss Thang.
A woman is so exquisitely designed that she's like a beautiful show of fireworks. She crackles and sparkles and illuminates the blackness of the night sky. And with each new burst and bang of light, she immerses herself in the colors of passion, power, joy, and love. But in all her glory and marvelous splendor, something's missing. She could have everything, but the pink rose on a co-worker's desk makes her green with envy. As she longs to be Miss Jones, Miss Robinson, Miss Smith, or Mrs. whatever his last name is. See, she's grown bitter from too many dark days and too many white tear-stained cheeks and way too many years of just being mistreated. So just like that fireworks display, her defeated and mistreated spirit falls down to the ground, battered, bruised, and charred. But each day she starts a new show. Lip gloss popping, head held high, working that red dress that hugs her hips just right. so her thighs make horizontal figure eights when she walks. Oh, she has issues, this is true, but she'll never be misrepresented. Joy shows on her face like the bright yellow sunshine of a kindergarten painting, even though something's missing. And with her false eyelashes, Gucci purse, and BCBG heels, her outer representative screams, hey, look at me, I have my stuff together. But that brother can't figure her out. He throws his hands in the air and wonders why she won't let him through. Well, it's because the last time she gave a relationship a try, she was misused. Now, I feel sorry for the dude, because now he has to peel away all her past pain like the skin of an orange so she doesn't feel mishandled. Because in times of betrayal, the second hand barely moves and she just can't hurry up and get over it because inside something's missing. But that void inside will continue to grow bigger and bigger until she completely learns to rely on the ultimate way maker and gap filler. Because when the colors of heartache, pain, anger, and despair get too much for us to bear, oh, it's the Holy Spirit that steps in and soothes the misused, speaks up for the misrepresented, redeems the mistreated, and buys out misfortune. Then that sister girl recognizes she's an extraordinary girl, and with a renewed and rejuvenated spirit, her yesterdays blends into the creamy dust of old apartment walls, and her life is no longer a show but a testimony, and the blackest stains of misfortune are washed away. It don't matter if she's sprinkled, poured, or submerged. It's all by clear water, cleansing her soul and changing her name from miseducated to Miss Thing.
Channel is Miss Thing by Kimiko Farrar, getting some snaps or some rotten tomatoes. Diva Nikki.
Snap. I'll still Miss Thing.
Snap. I actually did it at the end. Miss Cookie is not with us this evening, but I'm going to say she'll get a snap. Let's check in with Diva Janice.
I'll give it one snap. I love the context of the message. So I'll give it one snap.
One snap is good. We'll take that. David?
I think I appreciate Janice creating the opportunity to go someplace other than snap. Because for me, it was at the end of it, I was kind of like, it sounded like a little angry, but I did like. I was like, somebody's pissed. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I really hear, like a message of strength and perseverance, and I'll give it a snap.
We'll take that one snap from David. And Diva Robin.
Well, I'll give it 2 snaps. I liked it.
She liked it 2 snaps.
Snap.
And
a little demo of what 2 snaps sound like.
How about the Empress of Faith, Nakia?
I am going to give it a snap and a toe tap. All right. It was very, I can get the passion in what she was expressing.
Yeah.
Miss Thing, dealing with heartache, hardships, experiences, and, having all the baggage with her and really wanting something and not knowing how to really receive it. So it's a black woman's, every woman's experience, just a different context. So, I'm going to give it snap and some toe tapping.
Absolutely. We'll take that, especially the toe tap. I'm going to give it a snap as well. It's just, I got a lot of feelings from what she was saying. I could feel her passion. I could feel the emotion. And I could feel her owning it. So snap for that, always. And so if you enjoyed the performance from Kimiko Farrar, you can check her out on Old Grumpy Radio and YouTube. Now, it's time to continue our interview with David Flores, champion for humanity. over to the Empress of Space.
All right. Thank you so very much. So, David, thank you, honey. Thank you, David, for really being present, staying with us, and being willing to share during this second part of your interview. So I want to, again, thank you for sharing and sharing authentically. Now, David.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. David, your business is in the transportation industry, specifically freight and logistics. You have had your business for close to 20 years, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Now, during that time, you've seen the highs and the lows and the changes in the industry. You're already, excuse me, a successful business owner, yet you're taking on a new challenge consistent with the future of the industry. You've created an app that you say will make a difference in the industry and ultimately for everyday consumers. Now, in this segment, we will learn more about you, David, and the app that he has created and the challenges he faced or is facing in having his app be a commercial success. So, David, if you can please share the aha moment when you knew in your heart of hearts that you had to drive out the logistics world and into the technology world and create your app.
Well, so I'll stick with, it's almost like a two-pronged answer, but you know what, I'll actually stick with the aha moment. They're both kind of real. You know what, just real quickly, so here's the thing, the work that I've done, I guess what you could say the app or the intellectual property that I've really created that I've taken some time to, it's really something I've developed over the course of about, 15 years. It's designed to answer the question, what does it cost? And what you should know about transportation is that people are absolute freaks about answering the question, what does it cost? And that is, also in transportation, there's a lot of relationships that get created, just inside of, that people who are reliable or a particular price point that you like or whatnot. But it never takes away from that people are absolutely bananas about answering the question, what does it cost? And one of the things that I noticed early on, I just remember thinking very early in one, after my entry into this industry, I was like, okay, if somebody could answer the question, what does it cost, in a standardized way, in a way that made sense, that it was sensitive to the different markets across the United States, and it was, people could take a look, and the price that you gave them was one that would perform. So it'd have to be performance, and at the same time some real velocity with answering the question. So there's some real power, right, in that whole thing. The problem that I encountered in the industry was I would have a lot of people come to me just to use me for information. I had to be really careful about ferreting out the people who really had no intention of using me.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so there was that whole element to it, and it would get worse during slow economic times, like after the downturn in 2008. I lost half of my business in 2009. And after crude oil started to dip in July of 2014, and it finally bottomed out, I think, at $28 a barrel in either late January or early February of 2015. None of it's really been quite the same since, but it's never changed. People still are just absolute bananas about what does it cost? What does it cost? And what I would encounter is a great deal of my day would be spent fielding emails and questions and inquiries, people wanting information that I knew was not actionable now.
Okay.
And that's the big thing is people want information that's not actionable now.
Right. Wow.
And yeah, exactly. And so, if you take a look at anyone in my position, either as a broker or even a carrier, they want to do business, and they want to do business preferably now. Oh, wow, look at all this freight. Wow, when's this moving? The last thing we really want to hear is, well, this is a project that's 2 quarters out. Well, this is going to happen next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so and that's every day in the industry. So there's the cargo you can move now and that you're competing for, and then there's all the information that people want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's like that. And if you think about it, anything that you build, trucking is the largest background industry, that there is. Take a look around you. Anything that you see showed up on a truck.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, but nobody but it's there's a way that people are tranquilized to that. Nobody walks outside and goes, "Wow, look at this! Everything we see showed up on a truck." It's just we're just so tranquilized to it. It's not the way we engage with the world, right? And but that's the reality of it. And, you're not going to build a city. You're not going to build a nation. You're not going to, have a successful economy without trucking. And so the whole thing pretty much boils down to, so the aha moment, really just to get to your question is, when I had to confront that the industry was trying to get rid of me. And I don't mean that in a personal sense. I'm talking about the Amazon effect, right? Like, let's get rid of all the middlemen.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. And so there's that. So there's the Amazon effect, and then there's the things that happen inside of that. Like, I had a customer send me an email, say, "Hey, we've got this project out of Birmingham, Alabama, and it's going to someplace in British Columbia up in Canada." And I remember, and I have I have a freakish kind of memory. Like I can just remember stuff that I've quoted or moved, and I went, "Oh, that looks familiar." And sure enough, I dig it up, and it's a quote that I did, back in May or something like that. And here we are talking in September. And I see that this company is asking me to move the cargo that I quoted them.
Wow.
And it's a branch that's, in another city. It's a person I've never dealt with. And they're telling me that this is firm cargo, and the cost that they want me to move it at is $2,000 less than what I quoted them.
Wow.
So, it's just, there's some real treacherous characters in the industry, and you really gotta learn how to navigate things. It takes real savvy, to work in trucking, and to work in it successfully. You gotta navigate a lot of pitfalls and swindles and people's agendas, and, you gotta start to get really good at kind of ferreting out who's gonna use you, who's not, who's just bumping you for information. And I just remember thinking, you know what? If all you want is information, really what you want is information, I'm just going to charge you for it.
Hey, I get it. Excuse me. And I don't want to step over the fact that they're essentially trying to get everything out of you without the cost, the expense of compensating you for your information, for your intellectual knowledge. And once you got that, it was like, wait a minute, hold on. And that had an impact. So, yeah, I get that. And you were able to create something out of that, which is your app.
Yeah, it was a long road here too, because I knew I had some. Don't get me wrong, I pretty much finished putting what I've created is pretty much been complete since, I don't know, sometime around 2010, maybe 2009, with only, a few additions. It's just that business was good enough that I didn't think twice about it. I had a great income, I lived life really comfortably. Put it to you this way. My income vastly exceeded my expenses. So there was nothing like a circumstance, an emergency or something, that I had to really confront nudging me forward.
Okay. I get that. But you had something already there that you had created and just, sitting there. And when it was time for you to use it and have it available, you had already done the work.
Yeah, the biggest obstacle to all of this has just been my own kind of paranoia and distrust.
Okay.
Who do you go to with this? To trust. And for the longest time, I really just kind of sat on it and go, man, I actually have no idea who to talk to about this, who to show this to.
Well, you know what, David, with you saying that, I'm going to go to the next question that I have. What circumstances, people, or new challenges come into consideration as you do the work to have the app be successful? And what do you think or say success would look like for the app? So thank you for that transition.
Yeah, not a problem. So the biggest thing was really, I had someone approach me, that heard me just kind of talking about what I was dealing with. And this young woman said, you could actually turn that into a web-based business. And it was someone that I trusted and made all the difference. And, we talked, and, she had a team that I met with, and we scheduled a 2-hour meeting. Everyone that was there signed non-disclosure agreements, about what they were about to see. And the first meeting we had lasted 4 hours instead of 2.
Okay.
And at the end of it, the team leader, he says, you have a viable product. He says, you probably have thousands, if not maybe as many as tens of thousands of untapped users who could really use what it is you've created. And so right now, the obstacle is, in terms of getting a team together, that obstacle has been dealt with. I've got a group of people that I trust, and that believe in what I've created. Like they see it and they're like, okay, yeah, somebody wants this.
Wow.
We don't necessarily know who, but somebody wants this. And what I mean, and it's not, and I don't mean mysterious like we don't know who to go to. It's the oil majors, the large engineering, procurement, and construction firms,
Wow.
medium to large size private construction companies, logistics, exporters, importers. I mean, there's plenty of people to see it. Where we're at now is in a period of discovery is, okay, is this something that 10,000 people want to pay $50 a month for, or is this something that, 100 companies want to pay, $1,000 or $5,000 a month for? That's really where we're at is, and I'm looking forward to, talking to one of the majors later this week. And, I just, the biggest thing has been, so the first obstacle is definitely in the world of trust, my own reluctance to trust people. And
right.
when I really got surrounded by a group of people that I could see it, and then we've got a team and, we have some agreements in place to, with a success fee. Because the truth of the matter is like, you know what? I'm not looking to take out a large small business association loan. I'm not looking to, to take out something the size of a mortgage. People don't realize what it takes to service the debt on something like that. and I want to have money coming in to actually fund the next, version 2.0, 3.0, whatever it is, and have it grow organically. That's the whole point. And so that's where it's at right now with that. But the other thing is one of the things that I did that I understand is quite uncommon in the industry is that, I created basically a success fee, for the team that's actually putting this together. Because the truth of the matter is I don't know how to program in JavaScript and create a web page. Do I want to know? Heck no, I don't. I mean, I'll be 50 years old, in a couple of years. I'm not looking to learn how, this old dog is not looking for that new trick. And then I'm also not connected with certain companies like certain people are. So I really had to deal with surrounding myself with people that I trust who have a distinct skill set from me.
Right.
But at the very minimum possess integrity or the possibility of integrity, like someone you can hold to account and someone who will be, responsible for the word they gave.
Right.
Said another way, someone that I can work with,
Okay.
And so it hasn't been easy. I mean, part of the trial has been that, I discovered at one point in time that the work that was being done, the actual programming work, was incomplete, but it was being represented as complete. We were in a testing phase.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, and finally I just had to go to the head of the team and go, look, something's up. Something's rotten here. And, look, we discovered what it was, and the person in question had to have a transformation, but they did, So, I mean, don't get me wrong, this has been quite a journey. And I got to tell you, I mean, I'm at the part of a business. I'm just now moving out of the part of a business or building a business that I hate.
Right. Okay.
There's parts of it that I just loathe. And, it is like that sense of every day I'm going to go out and I'm going to discover something I didn't think about, some objection somebody has, somebody didn't do this, they're going to think it sucks. I had one sales call where it's a former customer of mine. They didn't even recognize what I was showing them. They couldn't see it. Like this is literally new. What I'm doing is literally a breakthrough in the way overdimensional and heavy haul trucking is dealt with or approached, and particularly when it comes to saving money. People do not. The way companies engage with trucking and with their budgets and with money is no one plans on saving money inside of the planning stage.
So David, with saying that, what does success look like for the app? How do you identify what that success looks like?
How does it look like? What does it look like? Well, it looks in various ways. I do have a number or a range in mind. If someone came along and said to me, "We like what you got, we'll give you X for it," there's that version of it.
Okay.
The other version of it is, it growing organically over the next year or two. And really creating a business that's subscription based, with tiered usage, right? And a strata, different menus or cost levels, right, for usage like that, and then eventually selling it. I mean, something like this, someone looks at it and goes, "Why are we paying for it? Why don't we just buy it?"
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, with all of the experiences and overcoming some of the challenges that you have faced thus far and the successes that has evolved out of your experiences. I would like for you to share a disappointment that involved working with others with the app or a project that you had to shake your head. Now, I know one share you just shared with us was about the app being incomplete but being put forth as though it was complete. So is there another area or disappointment that involved working with others with the app or a project that you had to shake your head?
Yeah, it's, I would say there was that encounter I had with a customer of mine where they just didn't recognize what I was showing them.
Okay.
I mean, like,
David, I just wanted to steal some of Empress Nakia's space. If I could do that. But I wanted to, it just hit me how, when you're out there on the edge, I mean, you're out there and you're way ahead of the curve on what you're creating, and then you go to share it with somebody. And that could be a customer, client, or just your friend. And they have that look like, what the hell are you talking about?
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, God, and, because it's like, man. And, we had this little show called Bras, Panties, and Sports.
Right.
And Diva Janice, for some reason, got to check out that show. And one of her comments was like, you're out there. And I'm like, what do you mean you're out there? Because I'm doing the show, and you've kind of been a guest of the show. We have fun, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
But it had to really hit that, oh, no, you are out there. And when you're out there like that, you don't get it in your world because it's just what you're doing. But then when others see it, they're like, no, this ain't what we ordinarily see. So,
right.
just wanted to, now in that certain situation, it wasn't, a disappointment because it was like, wow, out there, out there could be a good thing, but it really presents that you are, in the future. And we like to say, like, grow your mind and money. Grow your mind and money was 10 years ahead of the future when we first created Grow Your Mind and Money. And now I'm looking, and it's into a new future that people don't recognize. And, that's why it's out there. So I think the kid has to move forward. So let her move forward.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Can I say a little something about how this is out there?
Yeah, absolutely, David.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So what has this be out there is what I've created. Basically, you need very little information. You basically need a beginning zip code and an ending zip code, an origin and a destination, and then a small amount of data on the trucking industry related to that move. Like basically it's like, hey, what does it cost to get from here to there? And so you need a very small amount of data. And then you can enter in just 3, 5, 10, 20 pieces of cargo that are over-dimensional and heavy haul. And you hit the estimate button. And literally within like 5 seconds, you've priced, half a dozen and a half pieces of cargo, and you have the information in front of you that you need to pick up the phone and talk to a carrier and go, hey, we've got this to move, can you pick it up on 2 days from now, and will you do it for X? And so you have, so you have valuable information about, basically I'm equipping people with very valuable information about going into the trucking market and negotiating with carriers, and getting their cargo moved. Most people have no idea what even constitutes a high trucking price or a low trucking price or a fair trucking price. And then people have from time to time said, oh, this is like that true car thing. It's like, no, it's actually not. But if they have to think about it like that to have it make sense, that's fine. But yeah, I really am equipping people with knowledge about the trucking markets, and they can go and talk to carriers intelligently about what it takes in reality to move their cargo without spending hours and days chasing people for prices.
Wow. Well, David, you have shared so much with us, and you've broke it down to where it makes sense, and we can really see vividly what it is that you do and why it makes sense and why it works and how it works. So thank you for sharing that. And if you
yeah.
I'm going to ask you this one last question, then we're going to move forward. Please share a specific moment or event where your efforts and specifically the work of others on a project brought you a smile to your face, because we definitely don't want to overlook that. Something that brought you a smile to your face.
Oh, my God. Well, I just have one that's just really fresh. So it was actually just, we wrapped this up this week, and we created a demo, and it's just like a little 4-minute video that we have up on YouTube. And it's on a private channel, so it's not like you can go on YouTube and search for it. But literally, one of the team members sent me over the script, and, he's like, hey, you got any suggestions on the script? And, we finalized the script, and then he's like, well, do the voiceover. He's like, you got a good voice, you should do the voiceover. And so I did the voiceover for this thing, and I did it like 2 or 3 different times so they could, pick and choose which splices they wanted. And then they did a video capture. And then, no kidding, like last night, I'm at Papado having oysters, getting oysters and a Dos Equis beer, like you get emails and checking the stuff out, going, wow. And, there's this really well done demo of it's simple, it's like a tappy tune, like a Beatles song. It's 3 minutes long, right? You keep people's attention, and so it was just gorgeous. And I'd say that's the one right there that comes to mind, and it's the most recent.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know that in itself is a milestone for your organization and will definitely be a welcome approach to all of your vendors that will be partaking in your services that you have graciously provided the world. So I want to say thank you, David, for your sharing, for your authenticity, for your opening up and just giving us a clear insight of what your business is like. And I want to check in with the Divas to see if they're willing to share with us briefly.
No, you don't get to check in to see if they're willing to. You get to check in and see what is present for them from the interview. Where all this willingness come from? They on the line. Okay, Diva Nakia, take it away.
Let me check in with my divas, and I want you all to share with us what you're present to from the interview. So, Diva Janice, go ahead, my love. Share with us what you're present to.
I'm present to his courage because I was, in the 80s, the first black female owner of a same-day courier service in Pennsylvania. And I can tell you, listening to him talk about the nuances in distribution and arrangement with deliveries and things like that, it resonated so profoundly with me, and it just reminded me of, wow, I forgot about that part of my life until he mentioned it. So wow. The other aspect of it is you got to stay open, because once you go through a various phase in your life, a particular phase in your life, and things are just so traumatic, many people just shut down. And what I recognized in David is he kept himself open. No matter how difficult it was, he kept listening. So that's what's present for me.
Wow, thank you so much, Diva Jane. So, Diva Robin, what are you present to?
Well, first of all, I'm present. And and second of all, what I'm most present to, two things. One is, the main one is the unpredictability of inspiration and the opportunity and the serendipitousness of opportunities that arise that and then the brilliance of just about any business that will fill a real need. And David was like present and available to grab the opportunity before him. And it's the genius. It's the genius of recognizing an opportunity when it knocks. And then the other thing I'm present to is that in David speaking, what I hear is someone who is like designed for business. There are people who are like, you listen and you go, oh, this is a business person. And I also appreciate the passion for it that I heard behind what David's speaking between the lines.
Got it.
Because I was present to a lot.
Got it. Nothing wrong with that. Miss Cookie is not here, so Miss Jacqueline, Diva Jacqueline, go ahead and share my love.
Yes, I do. What I am present to is just that unstoppable mindset that you gain from when it's all kind of kicked in for you. Because, despite you making the decision, or not despite, you made the decision to start your company and work on it, but the challenges never stopped. And they aren't stopping. They continue to happen to you, and just your attitude about the challenges that you have faced in the last 20 years with your company is probably the reason why you're continuing to expand. So that is what I was present to during the sharing, and I appreciate everything you shared with us about your journey.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Diva, Nikki, what would it be that you have to share with us?
I'm present to David's honesty and his tenacity. And I love them both. I love the honesty in that, in his all, and that he's a pioneer. Because he saw he saw a need for something, and he filled that need. He created something to fill that need, along with the service that he was already providing. So that makes him a pioneer.
Yeah.
I am present to his honesty in that there are some things that, look, I don't want to do. I may do them right now, but I'm looking for somebody else to do this because I don't want to do that part. The business is the business, and I definitely want the business to be successful and progress, but there's just some parts of it that I don't want to touch. I don't want anything to do with. And that's something that many people, many entrepreneurs, do not want to have those kinds of real conversations with other people outside of their really close-knit circle. So I appreciate that because that needs to be spoken. It needs to be heard, and it also needs to be known that that is okay.
Absolutely.
And with the tenacity, that no matter what, whether you see it, whether you get it or not, I know that this is different, and I'm moving forward.
Wow. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing what you're present to. David, as I stated, we could definitely share forever, but right now it's time. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying something.
Oh, no, I just chuckled. Yeah, we could share for a long time, totally.
time right now to hear from our listeners. So, Diva Robin, what do you hear from the ethers?
Oh, I love getting to share this. So tonight, I'm going to share some voices from the ethers from our program Prosperous Divas, Living Wealthy. Beyond Well-Being, the fun begins. So, here we go. I'm going to jump right in. From Carlton Lopez of Brooklyn, New York. Love you, Divas. Thanks, Divas. I am starting to see areas where I send the universe contradictory commands and the confusion it causes in my life. I want my children to behave better, but I don't want to spend a lot of time disciplining them, which turns into no time. Yes, I have buts. I work hard. I'm tired. Hey, Empire is on. Blah, blah, blah. I can now see I need to be consistent in my actions or I thwart my own commands. This seminar is great. You ladies are the best. Woohoo, Carlton, we feel the same way about you. Cheyenne Hidalgo, Port Arthur, Texas. Dear Divas, the exercise was interesting because I knew there was no way I was sending the universe contradictory commands because God knows what is in my heart and is taking care of my desires. I was dismissing the exercise as being irrelevant to me. For some reason, I asked a dear friend who serves on a church board with me what she thought about the exercise and if it ever occurred that I was contradictory. I was shocked when she said, all the time for over 10 years. I couldn't get mad at her because she tells me the truth, and I asked. Then she said, why do you think you don't have a man? You just keep saying you want one, but you have a reason why this one isn't right or what you don't like. After that, she said, I realized I have a lot of what Diva Robin called your hidden butts. After she said that, I realized I have a lot of what Diva Robin called your hidden butts. Thank you and bless you. Cheyenne, you're welcome and bless you too. Janelle Dixon of Birmingham, Alabama. The exercise where you look at unfulfilled desires and the conversations you make up to keep them unfulfilled was driving me crazy. That is when I saw my conversations for keeping my desires unfulfilled are conversations that drive me crazy. Duh. I distract myself from working on my desires and dreams with crazy conversations like politics, Hollywood secrets, anything but conversations for me getting what I need to really go after my dreams. Thanks, Divas. I am the one causing the distractions in my life, not the government, etc., not TV. Thank you all so much. That was brilliant. Let me check in with the Divas and our guest and see what's present for them from the voices from the ethers. And I'm going to start with Diva Nikki. Diva Nikki, what's present for you, dear one?
What's present for me is I'm just very glad that everyone is getting something from doing the work and that they are doing the work and also stepping outside their bounds to actually ask someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
That could be varying from their own. That takes courage. So I'm present to them doing the work and their courage, and I'm grateful for the share.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Got all that. All right, our dear guest, David Flores, what have you to say? What's present for you?
I just really hear how eager people are for empowerment. People really do want that. People do want to enable themselves.
Yeah, that's really great. Well said, and thank you.
Yeah,
and
you bet.
Diva Janice, what's present for you?
I would have to echo with what Diva Nikki said about people finding their courage and the voice to do the work. It's just it's such a tremendous encouragement to hear that folks are realizing it is up to them. No external noise can prevent you from becoming who God ordained you to be. So that's what's present for me, and I just say kudos.
That's great. Thank you. That's great. And Diva Jacqueline, what have you to say about what's present for you?
I concur with everything the ladies have already shared. I'm just present to how much of a difference these conversations that we have together make on the people that are listening in. And so I'm just grateful to be a part of the process.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, last but not least, Empress Nakia.
Yes, I really want to acknowledge our listeners, not only for doing the work, but for taking responsibility and trying on something different, stepping out of what is familiar and being present to what's so with them.
Yeah.
I really can appreciate those that shut that cycle down and not only acknowledge what they become present to through their listening and their participation and the actions that they take when the Prosperous Divas are doing webinars and seminars and events and, you know, even with Grow Your Mind and Money, and it takes a different person. It takes someone who has experienced different levels or any level of transformation in their life, because the way they begin in the seminar, the way we all begin when we first start out, is not who we will be when it's all said and done. And whether they declared when they first started to tune in and get involved and really take on the work, doing the actual work, whether they declared at that moment that they were going to be someone else, that they were going to be a business owner, that they were going to be a millionaire, they were going to be whoever it was that they declared, whatever it was they declared at that moment, or through the process and all of the action that they took in doing the work, they began to declare and step into their future and live their presence as though they were already living out their future. So I really acknowledge each person, and I thank our listeners for writing in and impacting us and letting us know and keeping us fresh with being present to what we're doing each and every time we come together to make a difference.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thank all of you divas and David for sharing what you were present to. And I'm really present to the vulnerability of people telling one on themselves about, you know, thinking like the arrogance of thinking that, oh, that's not relevant to me, or where people were before they stepped into what they discovered through the offerings that we send them. So and their willingness to make a 180 shift when something became apparent. You know, the courage it takes to say, no, I was wrong, for the possibility of something more powerful. So with that said, Diva Nikki, are you there? Are you ready to take us to the break? Please take us to the break.
Sound like you were tossing the break over to Diva Nikki. Coming up in the Diva Nikki. Coming up in the next segment, the finale with David Flores, Food for Thought and the Prosperity Work.
Well, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. It is now over to Countess Jackson for the finale. Countess Jacqueline.
Thank you, Diva Nikki. Finale. Okay. David, I do want to thank you for sharing, and I'm just filled and grateful for you being authentic with your sharing and everything that you share with us. I feel like we learned a lot from you, from fear to forgiveness to perseverance. So I am full, and I want to thank you for that. But I have a few more questions, if you didn't mind.
Don't mind at all.
Okay, great. What challenges do you see lurking in the waters that will try to slow you down or take you off the path from having your app succeed beyond expectations?
What challenges? Yeah, I think probably the biggest one is I have. I'm just gonna say it like this: I have a pretty well developed sense of paranoia. I mean, and I don't mean like pathologically. I'm just skeptical of people, and sometimes a little cynical. And I don't know if it's rightly so or not, but what I've really had to develop myself, or where I've had to develop myself is how do I interview somebody in such a way that I get a sense of who they are, and pick them and surround myself with good people. I'd say that's the biggest one, because I'm very clear. I have the skill set that I have, and I need people with very distinct skill sets to make this work.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, with that in mind, can you share 2 pitfalls that you've seen other people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for having their dreams and desires manifested?
Well, yeah, I would say the first thing is they're just not clear about what they want.
Mm-hmm.
If you're clear about what you want, that's a fundamental orientation to it. There's times I share with people, they're like, "What do you want?" And there's times I say, "Look, I want money." And they're like, "Really?" Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, I love my wife and my daughter deeply. I have a great, relationship with my mom and my pop. I was very complete with my father when he died. I experienced the poetic, the sublime, the other, like whatever sense of otherworldly purpose or whatever. I have a very rich life. And sometimes people are like, "You want money?" Like, hell yeah, I want some money. I like money's some fun stuff, man. You just gotta be straight. Yeah. So the first thing is people just aren't clear about what they want. And then I would say hands down, the other one is this. People do not do the work. And I mean, like the hard-looking, truth-telling that it takes to either be a good partner, and this is either in a marriage or a relationship or whatever, or pick a good partner in whatever venture. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, wherever you are lacking in integrity, like in other words, wherever you are not being a person of your word, or someone who honors their word, to that degree are you going to be blind to someone else's ability or your own ability to be a good partner. And when I take a look at my life, particularly with Carly's mom, probably the biggest thing that I could look back to, what could I be responsible for? What didn't I fulfill on? It's like people really get caught up in the rush of how something makes them feel, or the glitter or the glamour or the fulfillment of something. They get captured or taken over by something they want or some I don't know. But it does not include doing the looking to who's going to be a good partner in fulfilling all this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
Major pitfalls that a lot of people fall into, including myself.
Yeah, we're all, we're all fallible.
Yeah. So David, I'm sorry. Having some technical issues on my end. Just a second. Okay, sorry.
Well, okay. No, you're not sorry, but you're having a technical issue. You got a technical issue. Well, David, would you please share with us one practice that you use daily to keep yourself in action and focused on the results you intend to produce?
One practice. This is going to sound, I don't know. I'm going to say it like this. I really think about what I'm up to. I really think about it, but I don't mean like the way people talk about it. Hey, when are you going to? Oh, I'm thinking about it. Not the deflection. I'm thinking about it. Right, the way people deflect with that.
You're intentionally thinking about it.
Yeah, I really am in an intentional formulation, right? Like looking at the way things would unfold in the future. I play out different scenarios in my mind, like that. So I guess it's a form of preparation.
Yeah, some would say it's like imaging. How it's going to be and how you're going to play.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you could probably put that in a camp of imaging or even visualization or something like that. Totally. But I really do think about things and formulate them.
Wow. Okay. That's a good thing. Diva Jacqueline, we got your technology working back.
Yeah, it's back.
Okay.
So David,
anything you'd like to say about what David just said?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I actually have that same practice. I try to just be mindful about what I am doing. What am I doing right now that's impacting what's going to happen in the future? What am I up to? How are my behaviors affecting what's going on currently right now? So I totally agree with that, David. It's a great practice. You can know what you're doing.
Right.
David, I did want to ask you, what do you have on your plate? And how can our listeners learn more about you and your app, especially for those who are in the logistics industry?
Well, so it's real simple. What do I have on my plate? Well, what I have on my plate is really the expansion of Centium and expanding the number of users and whatnot. And then also just really navigating the field. This is a patent pending technology that I've created. So, having people come on board as beta users, that's where I'm at. Looking at early adopters, people who are going to become our first customers and involved with the ongoing development of this version 2, version 3, version 3.2, et cetera, like that. And how you can find out more about it is, you can either call me at, 888-333-5357, or you can email me at david@centium.net, and Centium is spelled SENTIUM. Or you can email me at info@centium.net. Either way, it gets to me.
Awesome. Well, David,
can we get that spelling one more time?
Not a problem. Yeah. So it's called Centium, and it's spelled S-E like Edward, N like Nancy, T as in Tango, I-U like umbrella, and then M as in Mary. Centium.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you.
David,
we wish you the best of luck. We want to thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck with the growth of your app, and I'm sure it will be successful with the type of mindset you have the challenges that may lurk up on you, I'm sure you'll be able to work through them and find the best solution so that you can continue to expand. So I'm going to check in with the divas and see what's present for them. Diva Robin on mute.
Unmute your phone, Diva Robin. No, really, unmute your phone.
Diva Robin might be having a bit of a tech issue, so just move along.
That's no problem. Let's check in with Diva Janice.
What's present for me overall is just having continuity in spite of everything, the fluctuations of life, is just being consistent, especially when you know you have something worth fighting for. So that's what I find present for me.
Thank you. Agreed. The Empress of Faith, Nakia, what's present for you?
What's present for me is to really be committed to your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. Don't get caught up in the timing of it all, how long it takes or how long it took. Don't let what happens, those things that you can't control, stop you from pushing, from pursuing, from being able to achieve your purpose. And it's not always going to be pretty. It's not supposed to be always comfortable. But don't stop. Don't give up, because each of us, was purposed for a reason and for something specific to be able to contribute to the world. That's what I'm present to, and that's what I got from this conversation. So thank you for sharing, David.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. Well, Miss Cookie isn't here today.
I'm back.
Oh, but we have Diva Robin. Thank you, Diva Robin.
I was unmuting myself, and I actually disconnected instead. I'm so sorry. So
You're not sorry. You're not a thing, but sorry ain't one of them.
Okay, fine. I don't subscribe to that definition of sorry, but anyway. What I'm present to is the generosity, in this case, of our guest David in sharing his experience with us. So thank you, David. And with the value for both our listeners and for ourselves of the work that we're doing, and the privilege it is to be part of this amazing group of divas and our beloved Devo, and the diversity of the kinds of work where what we're doing makes an impact, and all the different areas of life. That's it.
Thank you, Robin. Well, I don't know if Ronnie, if you wanted to replace Miss Cookie.
I think you had something for Diva Nikki.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Diva.
No, you're not.
I'm not sorry.
We had to get coaches for everybody. No, get that out your vocabulary. But we do want to hear from Diva Nikki. Get that energy up, Diva Nikki. We need some energy up.
I came to bring the energy anyway. You know what I'm present to is our power of creating the life that we want and being the master of our destiny in as much of the things that we have control over at every given point in our lives. And David exemplifies it.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you from myself, all the divas, and Ronnie for being on Grow Your Mind and Money, sharing powerful. I invite you to stay for the rest of the show, David.
Okay, I'm happy to.
Yeah, bring us the balloons and the champagne bottle.
All right. Well, speaking of champagne, kinda. I wonder what special. Well, to go with the champagne, I wonder what special dish Diva Nikki has whipped up for us on Food for Thought.
Well, I hope you're ready because it is simply allow yourself to be. You are happy only when you allow yourself to be. You are happy always when you allow yourself to be happy. You learn, heal, achieve, and make progress by allowing yourself to do so. You experience peace by allowing peace into every corner of your awareness. The life you allow to unfold within you is the life you live. Let go of need, of striving, of envy, ego, and fear, and allow yourself to allow. You cannot fight your way to fulfillment, and chasing what you see only pushes it away. Stop fighting, stop chasing, and allow. Allow yourself to be your highest vision of yourself today. Allow life to be the best you know it can be now in this place, in this circumstance. Discard the conditional thinking that falsely imprisons your beautiful spirit. Allow and live the magnificent truth of all you are. Give the thing. Allow yourself to be one action I will take on this week is, one action I will take this week will be writing or painting something from my ability and my allowance to write or paint and create. Over to Diva Robin for the prosperity work. Oh, wait. And I did fulfill my commitment on my exercising. Yes, I have committed, and I've fulfilled my commitment. Just want to throw that out there. Diva Robin.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Go for it, Diva Robin.
All right. So, self-expression, freedom, and open to receive. We say that we're committed to have greater prosperity and abundance in our lives, but it seems like we just can't make it happen. That is the time to look deeply and be honest where we're focusing our energy. Are we free to seek what is needed or missing to have our desires fulfilled? Are we open to receiving the manifestations of our desires, however they look? Where we focus our thoughts is where our energy goes. If we are constantly seeking, yet we do not find, we must ask ourselves where freedom is missing and being open to receive is lacking. The work. Write 3 desires where you lack freedom or power, and you suspect what you seek to fulfill that desire is there if you are being open to receive it. Ask this question: what conversations can I let go of about myself and others that would restore my sense of power and freedom with this desire? What do I say I desire where I qualify what I want with the word but? Do I need to give up the but? Remember to look for the hidden buts. Create a list of situations, people, and conversations you choose to let go, as well as any buts that are keeping you from being open to receive. Share that list with at least 3 people who will support you in letting go. Do not, I repeat, do not attempt this alone. Get support. It is the key. Say this affirmation daily. I now let go of worn-out things, worn-out relationships, and worn-out conditions. I am open to receive that which is good. Share your list with at least one person daily and invite them to participate. Remember, demand a miracle. Empress Nakia, please take us away.
A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Peace